And we are doing real estate deals. I wish you guys could see. We got the house to ourselves today. Our wives are busy doing their own thing, and RJ and I are here working on several big deals. But we are talking real estate all day long.
We got a question here.
What do we got?
Brian, thank you for putting that question. I'm in a hot market. It's best to wholesale in a different market. I'm in Colorado. So is it best to wholesale in a different market?
You can wholesale.
I think you can wholesale in your market since you live there. There's definitely, we know several real estate investors that do business in Colorado and have really nice wholesale spreads, bigger than our wholesale spread here in Ohio. Our average spread is about 13,000. And when you go into higher dollar markets like Colorado, California, New York, and all these other places, you can get 40, 50, 60, even 100K wholesale deals done. You just need to make sure that you're marketing to your motivated seller, and then you have a buyer's list. So we use PropStream, guys, and you can use our affiliate link. You get 7 days free on PropStream, and you can download a motivated seller list and then get their phone numbers through Batch, which we share all of this in our previous TikTok videos. And then you just call them up, and you can call them with our script because our script works. We buy well over 100 houses a year. We're on pace to actually. We have a big deal right now, and we're going to be documenting this big deal. But it's north of 400 properties in Ohio that we're taking down, and we're going to go and dissect how we're doing it. Dave and I spent the whole morning looking at the deal and making sure all the rent rolls are there. But we're going to be dissecting it and going and doing probably a series of YouTube videos about it. So definitely go to our YouTube channel, The Cream Real Estate Investors. And also follow Dave. We're going to be doing a lot more of those skit type videos so that you guys can see how we interact. A lot more of it's going to be based on how we are approaching sellers and how we're negotiating deals. And a lot of that, we feel like we can actually do it a lot better in those skits. Plus a lot of you guys are commenting and sending me DMs that you guys like the skits anyways. But PropStream, you can find motivated sellers there, and you can use PropStream to get motivated buyers or cash buyers. So that's what I would use. So here's another question. I think someone just nailed. So hey, JR, it's RJ, it's all good. When we wholesale contracts to the buyer, how do we get paid? By the title company. So the title company knows. You want to work with a title company that knows how to transact a wholesale deal. So you have your purchase and sale agreement, then you have your assignment agreement with your buyer, and in your purchase and sale agreement, let's just say it's $50,000 with your seller, and then your buyer, you're signing your contract for about $10,000. So your assignment contract says you agreed that you're going to take over this contract for $50,000. My fee is $10,000, and so the buyer goes to the closing table and pays $60,000, right? That $10,000 spread gets wired to you, or if you want it in the form of a check, you can go pick up the check. We like wires. We live in 2021. Wires are better. I know there's people that like checks. It's great. I'll pick up a check, but we're a virtual company. We like to move fluidly, and that's why we like the wires. How can I start real estate if I don't have a lot of money?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think just to kind of piggyback on, it's exactly what we're talking about. We are firm believers that wholesaling and learning how to wholesale real estate is by far the very best way to get started for several reasons. Number one is the risk factor. So, when you're investing in real estate, where you have potential to lose or where you are, where it's risky is number one, raising private capital and taking on debt. And number two is managing rehabs and things like that. So wholesaling is a great place to start because you learn the fundamentals of real estate, meaning you learn how to find deals, you learn how to evaluate deals and running comparables, you learn how to negotiate with sellers, okay? You learn how to put a property into contract, but then you go and find an end buyer, just like RJ was just sharing there. Let's pretend you find a good deal. Let's say it's worth 100, and you put it in contract with the seller for 50, and then you go find a buyer willing to pay 60 for this house. The buyer's going to come in with that 60,000, and the seller's going to get the $50,000 that you promised them on that purchase and sale agreement, and you would have that 10K spread, and that would be documented on the assignment of contract with the buyer that you found who's willing to pay $60,000. So you would make that $10,000, but you made that revenue and made that profit without really taking any risk whatsoever, because you didn't have to use your own money to buy the property, and you didn't, end up taking on debt and buying a property and getting bogged down with construction or anything like that. So wholesaling real estate is good for many reasons. The biggest one being the risk factor. You don't have a lot of risk, but you still learn all of the most important fundamentals, which is finding deals, negotiating deals, evaluating deals, and then putting these things in contract. And then as soon as you get a deal in contract, we tell our clients all the time, get your ass out there and find a buyer. Like, don't wait around. As soon as you get a contract, get out there and find a buyer willing to pay more for the property than you have it in contract for, and whatever you can negotiate with the buyer, that is your spread. You could earn nice 5-figure checks. We've actually earned 6-figure checks on really big deals, but you could earn five-figure checks or more without taking the risk and still getting all the fundamentals of real estate under your belt.
Yep, that's a good one. Thanks, Dave. If I want to buy a duplex and house hack with an FHA in this hot market, will they even consider me? Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. There's so many good, that like the FHA, the rates are so low right now. I mean, the FHA loans are like, what, 3.5%?
Well, that's what you put down. Yeah, so FHA is good because it's the least amount of money down. Where you might run into a challenge, though, is if you're shopping with a realtor and shopping on the market. When a realtor is proposing your loan, because they're going to show the seller that their buyer, you, is using an FHA loan, sometimes those are not the strongest offers. Yeah. So if you can find something off market and then you kind of have your FHA pre-qualification all set up, I think you'll find a seller who you found off market, not on the market with a realtor, but off market. You found yourself, more likely to accept your offer with an FHA loan than somebody who's shopping with a realtor.
And here's one quick tip. I'm getting ready to put a video on this, but when you're doing house hacking, it's better to do it on a triplex and a fourplex. And the reason why is that when you're living in one unit, right, and one of the units become vacant, well, in a triplex, you have, one other unit that's going to help pay for your mortgage payment. And then similar to a 4-unit, you live in one unit, well, if one of those other units become vacant, there's still 2 other units that will help you pay for your mortgage, right? And then the other tip that I have when you're house hacking is don't be the freaking landlord. Hire a property manager. Okay, you don't want to be the owner of the property, because guess who's going to have to they're going to answer to? You're going to have to answer to them. They know where you live. So handle this as like a business, not as a hobby, because you're going to get better results. Hire a property manager, okay? And then also you got to make sure you're screening your residents, because you don't want to be living next to a problem.
A financially irresponsible person.
A financially irresponsible problem. So, what's the best way to develop a relationship with private lenders if you have no experience at all? That is the question of the day. I love that question. So, Dave and I did not have experience in the beginning when we formed this partnership. What we did was that we showed them really, really good deals. You got to have a good deal. Number 1, have a good deal. Number 2, be okay with, you don't have experience, be okay with either paying them a little bit more on interest and maybe even giving up some of the equity. Okay? You got to gain traction somewhere. And when people are trying to gain your trust, you got to give up a little bit more to make that deal sweeter. You agree, Dave?
I do. I you know who comes to mind? I'm not going to say their name, but there's a guy, and we'll discuss it afterwards. He's in our local market in Columbus, Ohio. And when RJ and I first started buying homes together in 2012 and 13, we were out there trying to raise money, and we were paying very hefty fees for the private money that we were able to find because we had to. We didn't have a lot of experience, so we were literally willing to pay interest to our lenders, but then also give them a portion of the deal. I mean, it's a very sweet deal for the lender, but it's good for the lender, it's good for you as well, because this person is taking a chance on you. And I remember specifically another investor-minded guy who was also kind of just getting started, And he said, "Oh no, I would never pay for that." I remember this conversation specifically. He would say, "Oh, I need to raise cheaper money than that. I'm not giving up an interest rate and a portion of the deal." And I was like, "Well, I wish we didn't have to pay it either." But I mean, right now that is the only access to money that we have.
Yeah.
And now looking back, it's been 8 years later. And I don't know that this person's really doing anything in real estate anymore. Just looking back, I don't know why that popped in my mind. And I'll share his name afterwards, RJ. I don't want to, throw anyone under the bus or certainly not be offensive to anybody because maybe he's doing something else. But I remember specifically this person never was able to really get off the ground simply because they were always consumed with, oh, how much do I got to pay the private lender? So here's my advice. If you're just getting started, be open to just going 50-50 or even give them more than 50-50 if it's going to allow you to get that experience, because after you begin getting some experience, the cost of your money will come down and your confidence will keep going up as well. So don't be afraid to pay, give a good chunk of the deal to the people who are willing to have faith in you when you're first getting started.
Yep, you got to earn your stripes and you got to earn their trust, really. So, so again, the contest is this: pick a number between 1 to 1,000. Text me at this number, okay? 614-810-4622. I'm gonna go live again. We'll go live what? Maybe Sunday. We have masterminds today and Saturday and tomorrow. So Sunday, I'll announce the winner. You'll get our script that we use for our cold callers. We do north of 100 deals a year.
It is a custom script, by the way. I emphasize that because a lot of people are giving away scripts, but it's just some crap they found on Google.
Yeah,
this is stuff we've developed over the years.
And then we're also going to donate $100 to the charity of your choice. So, again, the number is 614-810-4622. Text me your guess, and I'll announce the winner on Sunday. One last question, and Dave and I got to hop on and get back to this mastermind. That's it. So what I've contacted, I'm all 1099 income, can't get a loan, period.
Yes,
can't get a loan, period. What should I do?
Look somewhere else. Find somebody else. Okay, we're going to start doing videos about this, and I want you guys to do your own due diligence and research this, but go ahead and Google, banks have tons of money or something like that. So right now is a historical time, and I'll share with you guys why. So obviously the Fed printed $6 trillion for the U.S. CARES Act and now the infrastructure bill, and there's just money being printed like crazy. Well, where does the money go? So even if you get a stimulus check or a business gets a PPP loan, well, they deposit the money into a bank. How do banks work? Well, a bank is able to lend out 10 times the amount of deposits they have. So since they printed so much money, and all of this money is now sitting in the form of deposits in the banks are literally able to lend out more money than ever before, and the banks make money by doing loans. They want to lend money. So don't be surprised when you see new lending programs. Loans are getting more easy. It's getting looser. And I posted about this today on a different platform, but there's literally a woman who's getting a loan. She could barely afford it. Yeah, the loan is, she applied for a $300,000 loan, got approved for it, but she said, "Oh no, I don't want to do that because that's going to take all my monthly income to pay for this loan." So she said, "I decided to go with a $250,000 loan." But it's just like crazy. It's like, why is the bank approving these people? They can barely afford it. It's just getting started. So there's going to be more and more loan programs coming out here over the years. You could be 1099. Don't be surprised if you see banks lending on as-is deals. So normally you would have to use a private lender in order to buy a deal as is off market and then get it fixed up with private money and then refinance it with a bank. There's going to be more and more banks willing to just give you the money for an as is deal. They're going to be willing to give money to 1099 people. They're going to be willing to give money in loans to people who have a lot of student loan debt. There's going to be all sorts of new lending programs coming out simply because the banks have never been sitting on more cash than they have right now. And with the inventory of real estate being so low, they're looking for ways to get this money on the street. So don't worry if you're 1099. just keep shopping around, and I wouldn't be surprised if you find some type of loan program for your personal situation.
All right, so hang in there. We're getting ready to. Got a minute left here. Should I invest in my real estate with my girlfriend? I've been together for 7 years.
Probably not, respectfully, because you don't want to mix that stuff up. I'll just be honest with you.
She's actually from Iraq, real estate dude. Yeah, real estate rules are different in the U.S. Than places like Iraq. So, okay, guys, remember, text me the number, your guess, 1 to 1,000. I'm going to announce it on Sunday. Good luck. Thank you again. We're coming out with new videos. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Use the Q&A to ask questions. And I appreciate you guys, like it means a lot. You guys follow me and you guys like my videos. I'm open to new ideas. So any questions that you guys have, any videos that you'd like to see, follow Dave. He's at The Real Dave P. And we'll see you guys on the interwebs. And have a good Friday.